Okay. You want to make an atmosphere for a planet. Well, I have an answer, and I'll, if I figure it out, I'll put a timestamp on it. If not, just look in the comments. I'll just put it there, or maybe the description, so you can just jump right to it without the talking. But everyone knows, unless you're new to Unreal Engine, everyone knows that you can't have more than one sky atmosphere. If you do, visual bugs start to happen, and you can't have more than one directional light because they start to fight each other for dominance or something. I don't fucking know. There's nothing special about this. Sure, it looks fine on its own, but issues start to become very apparent when you realize there's no atmosphere. It looks fine on its own, but atmospheres are generally very nice to have. We got options. So this is not the atmosphere. This is my first attempt at making an atmosphere. If you go on YouTube, there are hundreds of videos on how to make an atmosphere, and 99% of the time they will tell you to use translucency or additive if they're doing a cubic voxel method, which is very expensive. So I came up with this, and I'm going to be honest, it looks really bad. The big problem comes with shadows. With translucencies or additives, there's no casting shadows. It could be better. And this is the big problem. They don't cast shadows. This is disgusting. Get it out of my face. And your next thought would be to just mess around or try to fidget with the sky atmosphere. And granted, it is a good tool, but there comes times where you can't use this. Is what I would have said if this wasn't a material on its own. This is the sky atmosphere. And arguably, I would say that the material that I have looks better than the sky atmosphere. Sure, the sky atmosphere is customizable in thousands of ways, but if you want a quick material that goes dynamically with anything else, don't mind the weird lighting that's from Lumen because of the sky atmosphere. But if you want something that works beautifully, in fact, let me turn Lumen off just so it doesn't mess with this. So if you want something beautiful, this is a perfect, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here, but it's a good trade-off, I should say. Now, once again, this stuff that you see is purely because of the sky atmosphere. If I remove the sky atmosphere, it goes away entirely. There are other similar features like, what's a good spot? Right here. There is simulated ray, I think it's called a ray length? I don't know, it's a form of light scattering. You can see that is very apparent with this. Yes, this has more colors, but it's up to how you decide to color it. The material does have the ability to customize that. Of course, it being a material, it is dynamic. So if we, per se, let's go right here. If we turn off the directional light, because boo, nobody likes directional lights, let's do that sun. This is an actual 3D sun, by the way. This isn't some thing that's just on the map. So if we come over here and we turn the sun on, you can see it affects the lighting. Don't mind the splashy shadows. That was something else that I was messing with. Has nothing to do with the actual atmosphere. You can see it's on the mesh itself. But it's affected entirely. In fact, I can grab the Earth right here, and you can see it's being affected. So now you want to know how to make it. There's a bit. This is very close looking to the actual sky atmosphere, and technically more customization with the colorings, because you can't color certain things in here. So let's get into this, although this does look better, but this is here. So this is the material. It looks like a lot, but trust me, it's not a lot. So let me show you real quick. I'll create a new material. Name it anything like atmosphere. I'll name this one test underscore atmo. Double click it. Let me drag this out, put it here, and now you'll be left with this. There are a few things that you're going to have to do before we get into the actual making of it. First, blend mode, translucent. I know we just talked about this, but trust me. Scroll down to, where is it? Lighting mode in translucency. Volumetric non-directional, change that to surface forward shading. What we're going to do the simple things first. In your material graph right here, you're going to want to hold S and left click. This will open a parameter. Name it anything like specular. I'll name that spec. Bring that to the specular. Do the same thing again. Call this roughness. And put that into the roughness. And change that value to a 1 because an atmosphere is not reflective. Now, let's move to the opacity first. Something simple. Let me move this over. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the opacity. Let me bring these up here. Come somewhere, anywhere over here. Make a new parameter. Hold S and left click. Call it opacity. And call it anything. It doesn't matter. I like to use parameters because they allow flexibility in the future, but you can use whatever that has a numerical value. So bring this out and make it to a divide. Change that 2 in the B to a 10. And now bring this output to a multiply. Okay. So now we're going to do this. Hold S, left click again. This is going to be the opacity of the Fresnel. If you don't know what a Fresnel is, it's basically rim lighting. It's, to give you an idea, if you put a ball in front of you and a light source behind that ball, and your eye is on the opposing end of that ball adjacent to the light, you're going to see this faint rim lighting around the ball. That's essentially what this is going to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this opacity rim light, or not rim light, Fresnel. You can name it rim light, Fresnel, doesn't matter. And you're going to want to change this to a 20. Bring this value to the B in the multiply from before. Now, we're going to do another one. Go down here, do it again. Call this the Fresnel, or you can just call this EXP, or Fresnel, or Fresnel. I don't know how to pronounce it. Fresnel. Call that Fresnel. Fresnel EXP. And you're going to want to change that value to a 3. Do the same thing again. Call this literally anything. Fresnel base reflection, anything. I'll call it Bubba, because I can. And you're going to want to make this, I think, I'm looking at my other graph just because I don't forget my stuff. Make this a 0.05. Now you're going to want to get a Fresnel. Call it Fresnel, and go to the utility, spawn one in, bring the Fresnel EXP with 3 to the exponent, or the expolin, I'm not sure what that is, or how to pronounce it, I meant, and the Fresnel base reflection, or Bubba in this case, to, or not reflection, refraction, sorry, and bring that to there. Now you're going to want to make a lerp. Spawn a lerp interpolate. Interpolate. Bring the original multiply from before into the A. Or, sorry, not the A. Disconnect that. Bring that to the B and the Fresnel into the alpha. Now take the divide output again and put that into the A. Now we can take this and bring it to opacity. This will obviously create an opacity. This will make it see-through. Right now there's nothing because there's nothing to go off of. So let's change that. Come somewhere, anywhere up here. Hold 3 and left click. This will create a constant 3 node. Make the green 0.264. 0.264. And for the blue, make it just 1. 1. And boom. Now we have the value. I'm not sure what just happened there, but that's weird. Now we're gonna hold S, left click, make a constant node or parameter, call it inner color intensity. Convert to parameter. Okay. Okay, sorry. So you're gonna want to convert that to a parameter. Right click it, convert to parameter. Now you're gonna want to call it inner color. Anything honestly. Now take this out, take it to a multiply. And take this into this, and it should look like this. Now go back to your inner color intensity, make this 0.05. Now we're done with the main color. We can call this main color. To do this, by the way, highlight everything, press C, and then name it. Now we're gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna make a constant 3 node. We're gonna convert it, right click it, convert to parameter. Call this ray lay low. This will be the low color for the relay or relay. I don't know. Make this a solid green, if I believe. 0.143. Okay. Make red 0.143. And this a value of 1. Now we got a nice green. Same thing as before. Make a multiply. You can copy that, paste it here, put that into the A, make a new one, and make another parameter. S, left click. Call this ray lay low intensity. And bring that there. Now we're done with this again. Now we're going to highlight, call this ray lay low. You can color them too. It just for organizing, you'll be fine. But if you want to customize the colors for organization purposes, you can just come to this left menu. Bring that higher because it's getting in the way. Okay. Now we're going to make another parameter. Call it color blend 2. Because we're going to have another color blend. Make this a value of 6. Bring it out to a Fresnel again, or Fresnel. And change the base reflection or refraction in to 0.2. Now take that output and put it into a clamp node. Math clamp. And now we're done with that section. We can call this edge threshold inner. Color this anything. I'll make it a nice purple. Oh boy, we're getting too far down again. All right. Make a constant 3 node again. Convert to parameter. Call this center blue Atmo. And just make this solid white. This will act as the outer white effect. Take it to a multiply. Constant node again, S, left click. Let's call it center blue, or not center, yes, center blue Atmo. Okay, I call that Armo, but it's perfectly fine. Bring that to here, and change this value to 0.005. I also forgot to mention, for the relay low intensity, make this 0.03, because we don't want the green to be too intense. Call this, anything, honestly, you can comment that and call it anything. We'll call this, my game's freaking out. We'll call this edge highlight. Okay, and then now one more, bear with me. Make another constant 3 node, convert it to a parameter, and just make this blood red. As red, oops. As red as you can get it. And S, left click, call this red haze edge. Once again, you gotta name this as well. Call it red haze edge. And change the value of the parameter to 0.006. Now you're gonna take this to a multiply and come put it in there. Okay. And one more. I know I said that was the last one, but that was the last of the colors. Call this, I don't know, anything. Last one. Make a color blend, or not a color blend. Make a constant node, S, left click. Call it color blend. And make this a value of 20. Take this to a Fresnel and make the base refract once again, or base reflect refraction to 0.2. I knew I wasn't tweaking. There was a reflect in there. I'm gonna be honest, I don't read half of what it's shown. I like skim over it. Now take this out, bring it to a clamp, call it clamp, math clamp, and leave it as it is. Call this anything, thickness threshold. I'll make this a nice that color. What color did he? I don't know. Yellow. Okay. Okay, bear with me. There's going to be a lot of connecting here. Grab a lerp node, lerp interpolate, and put another one, lerp interpolate. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to take the main color, bring this to A, and take the relay low and bring that to B. And now we're going to take the clamp from here and put it into there. So these three are going into the lerp node, corresponding from highest to lowest to A to alpha. And I'll do the same thing here. Take the top one there, take the bottom one, or the middle one in this case, just connect them as such. Okay. Now we're going to make another lerp node. And we are going to... Ooh, wait, hold on. This is not the lerp node we needed. Lerp interpolate. Oh, maybe it was. Okay, we're going to put this in here. Put this in here. We're going to bring this out somewhere, anywhere out. Now we're going to make a parameter again. Call this literally anything. This is going to be the same thing from before. We're going to make a Fresnel or Fresnel. Once again, 0.2. And make this a constant value of 1. Bring this to a clamp. Oops. A clamp. And bring that to the alpha. But make the min 0.8. This will thin out the threshold line. Now we're going to take this out to a multiply node. The lerp node that we just had. Take it out to a multiply. And make a new parameter. Call this atmosphere intensity. I'm pretty sure I misspelled that. Make this 100. And put this into the B of multiply. This will act as the overall brightness and the intensity, as hence the name of the atmosphere. Now we're going to take this out, make an add node. It's called math, add. And we're going to bring this out a little bit. All right. We're going to make another, bear with me again, another parameter. Call this glow. Make another, call this glow reflect. And make one more, call it volume. Okay, make the top glow parameter 50. Leave this one at 0 and this one at 3. Make a Fresnel and connect them based on, or connect the first two based on their respective places. Make a multiply node and take this into here. Now, take the output of the multiply node into the B of the add node and take this. We'll move this over because I'm messy. We'll take the add, bring it to the base color. And we should be good if we hit apply. Oh, okay. That is why. I'm stupid. I was trying to figure out why it was invisible. Change the opacity to 0.6. There we go. I'm sorry. I was confused there for a moment, but like I said, bear with me. I'm new to Unreal. We'll call this opacity. Now, you can move these around. It does not matter how you organize. It really does not matter. Nothing will change about the material. So if we close this, oh, no, it wants me to save, apply, and save. If we go to this earth from before, hold Alt, left click, move it, remove the material, bring this to here, and now if we scale it up, it is highly recommend you bring your own mesh for this, but a lot of my meshes use nanite, so nanite is not compatible with translucent materials. We will take the test atmo and drag it onto there. And boom, now you have your sky atmosphere. A few things to consider. In the original sky atmosphere, you can notice that the red is below the green and the green is below the blue. Currently, I have it set backwards. where the green, it's very, very faint, but the green is below the red. If you so choose to, you can go back in your material. You can see this is the green that is for the low, and the red is for the high. If we simply drag these out as such, this is a very sensitive material. In theory, this should work. So if we take this out, put it here, and put this into the A, in theory, yes, it does work. And it looks, depending on your style, if you think this looks better, it could depend. If, per se, you have a gas giant, and there's a lot of gases, you can, let's say Jupiter or Mars or something, you can change the main color to any color you would like. Let's say that. And you go back to your opacity, increase the opacity to any number, let's say 1 or 2 or 3. This gives the illusion of a very dense planet. But it is affected by lumen. So that's a plus. Gotta be honest, that's a plus for me. But if you like it, have fun and enjoy.